Welcome to part 15 of the Dubstep Workshop Bullshit-Free Power Course with me, Tom Cosm. We're up to baseline number 14 now, and this one we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit weird. I'm going to make a dick of myself, but that's okay, because I don't mind. But if you do this one, and you've got friends who get freaked out easily, might want to get them to leave the room. Right, so we're going to create a MIDI track and call this, actually no, fuck that, that's wrong. We're going to create an audio track for this one. An audio track. Aha, so that was create audio track, which is Command T. Not using a MIDI instrument, we're using an audio track. Why are we using an audio track, you say? Well, I'll show you. Let's just call it base 14. The concept behind this is I'm going to record myself doing some stupid little expression thing, and I'm like, but I'm going to use, just using the mic on my laptop, because we're going to use a vocoder in this one. So what that effectively means is we're going to record ourselves doing some strange sound, and then we're going to combine it with a synthesizer and mix those sounds together. So hopefully the expression that we can get across using the microphone will move over into the synthesizer and create a cool bass sound. Now this can go either way, so do bear with me if it doesn't work initially. First thing I need to do is open up my preferences. I'm just going to turn my built-in microphone on, like so. So that should be recording a level now. Let's have a look. In. Oh, there we go. I can see myself. Just turn that off because it's quite weird in my headphones. So I need to record my voice over this part here. Okay, so I do that by setting the loop markers around the area that I want to record. But instead of looping, like we did before, there, we're going to set the punch in and punch out points. This means when I record, it won't record here, it won't record here. It's only going to record this part here, and it's not going to loop. It's just going to go straight through, record, and straight through. So here we go. Make sure you record first. That helps. And make sure, yeah, that's all right. That's not good. All right, let's try this again. It was too loud for a start. Okay, that's fucking weird, but just bear with me, okay? So we've recorded that in. I'm just going to turn my mic off here, like that. And let's listen to that again. And let's put the vocoder over that as quickly as possible so I don't have to hear myself being a fucking idiot. Vocoder. So this is the vocoder. This is in the audio effects. So what a vocoder does is it mixes the volume of what you're feeding it. So in this case, the recording, it's split it up into these bands, and each one of these bands is a particular frequency range, a particular frequency within the frequency range, and it analyzes all of these bands. I believe there's 32 bands here. You can change it. Where can we change it? Oh no, there's 20 bands, and it mixes an incoming signal with the velocity or the amplitude of the actual signal that's being fed into the vocoder. Just to give you an idea, so at the moment we've got noise. So what it's doing is it's going to mix white noise with my voice. Pretty evil. Alright, but what we can do now is we can create a MIDI track, just like before. I'm going to call this bass 14 vocoder. And we're going to create a operator. Just give it a saw wave for now. So I'm going to mute this channel. This is the synth that we're going to feed in to the vocoder. So I'm going to create a MIDI clip here. Open it up. We're using D, so let's play D down low. Excellent, but we don't want this channel to actually play. We don't want this to come up the master. Remember, this is where inputs and outputs are. So the output is going to the master. We want to send that to sends only. We did this before with the other bassline where we used a dummy clip to gate the reverberated effect of the bassline. We're going to send this to just sends only. So that means it's not going to play, but it's still there. It's blue, but it's just not coming out anywhere. It's got nowhere to go. But we can still feed it into this vocoder. So by going back to the bass 14 track, we've got this drop-down menu here. We can do noise. We can do external, which is the one we want. There's also pitch tracking, which is quite interesting. It'll mix a waveform. So one of these, here's our saw, here's our square, and it'll analyze the pitch real time of the audio and try and mix a waveform of the same pitch into it. Let's see how that sounds. Like so, but we're going to use external. And when we pick external, it says, okay, well, where do you want the external source to come from? We're going to go audio from bass 14 vocoder. So now that sine wave is being mixed with the vocoder. So just to describe that again, here's a whole, here's 20 bands. So here's the frequency range, and it's split up into 20 parts. Each part is analyzing its own specific area of frequency, and it's giving us levels in that frequency. So there's quite a lot of mids. You see my voice doesn't have lots of subs, so there's hardly anything here. And see how I kind of go, ooh, ee, ah, oh, so it kind of goes up. So when the saw wave is getting fed into this, it's hitting there, and then these particular bands are boosting and subtracting frequencies from that saw wave in the same way that my voice was operating, and that mixes them together in a really really unique way. So let's open up this saw wave here. Now if we muck with this, we're going to get different. I'm going to kind of be singing a bit, so let's bring this down an octave, see how it sounds. Pretty cool. Let's bring it up an octave. I mean, we could do, you know, I could loop this and turn and just play some notes. Cool, so you can see we can do a whole melody here, but we're going to focus on the bass line here. So this is I was sitting down with Mr. Bill and we were trying to figure out how to crack this code of getting that really cool robot talking sound that we covered before, and this was kind of my first idea. It's a bit of a hack, but it ended up creating quite a cool, unique result. So I'm going to create that. Let's just do a pitch bend down. So I'm just going to pitch bend it, remember selecting the envelopes mode, going pitch bend, double click, pitch bend it all the way down, and we just have to go into our synthesizer, make sure that we go to the global area and set the pitch bend to 12, so it goes all the way down. Maybe if we go up would be better. So we'll start this one down and go up. Sounding pretty good. Now if we go into this vocoder again, we've got a few things that we can play with. The format kind of changes the kind of brightness of it. So that'd be kind of cool if we automate that. So let's automate that. Let's add in a point just subtly like that. So that's a sweep. I think this needs to come back up again. Oh, we could also just get rid of that. We could also use the pen tool and kind of make it all looking crazy like this and give it lots of sudden increments. I liked what we had before though, that was cool. So let's roll with that. We've also got the depth, which is kind of how much it does it. And the other important little thing I'll just cover is this unvoiced thing. If you bring this up, it's going to mix the kind of the consonants and that's the high end sounds. It's not going to be very handy for this, but let's say you're saying something into the vocoder and you're saying a sentence and you want it to mix it with a waveform and have it come out. If you have unvoiced kind of turned up, it'll kind of mix in the hisses and the pops that kind of, you know, define consonants and things like that. It doesn't really work in this circumstance. Alright, so we've got those two. Let's select both of those and group them together because they're the same thing. We're completely lacking any sub. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this this track here, which was the bass 14. We're using it as a dummy clip. I'm going to rename this bass 14. We'll call it sub. And we won't have this one to sends only. We'll have this one sent to master. So, and let's change this to a sine wave. But let's, you see how we've got 4 individual kind of, Tom being a dickhead here. So let's go into this clip and drag it back and give it 4 individual hits. And if we again turn up the pitch envelope, maybe if we bring it down, that's kind of cool. So I've brought the pitch envelope down so it's into the negative, so it's doing the opposite of whatever this is. It might be easier if we just go up into the positive and bring this down. It's a bit easier to follow. So I've got this line bending up. We've got a pitch bend already happening here. So, whoa, but each individual note is still going to have a little bump, so it's going to be like whoa, 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 whoa. Should become a vocalist. That's really confusing. I like that. Let's go into the vocoder. Let's add an EQ. See if we can get a bit more guts out of this area. It's not really going to work, so we could probably change this bass line, this sine wave. Let's change it to something like a square, but bring a filter down. So if we have the filter down right down the bottom, the square is just going to sound like a sine anyway. But that means we could bring it up a bit. We could even add a filter envelope and have some attack on it so it sneaks in each note. If we use a saw instead. I like the square. Too much resonance. Let's give that bass one of those little reverbs that I liked as well. Sorry, that vocoder channel. Remember, short size, short decay, not very much dry wet. Right, so that actually worked better than expected. So let's have a listen to how that sounds in the scheme of things. That's awesome. Cool. And we should rename that to bass 14. It's quite hard to group all these together as a whole entity. I'll use the vocoder and the reverb and stuff and group that together, and that can be the thing that we give a name, which can be Dickhead. Great. So that was number 14. Tom Cosm.